in the morning or last night. Why would your average be 30.87? That's a pretty horrendous average. I mean, maybe not a horrendous average if this ends up being a gap up, but like what got you in at 30.87? Either a chase in after hours or this morning? I don't know where. So yesterday, why would your average be 30.87? It's a pretty crazy average. But if you've got a nice average and it's working for you and it's an earnings gap up, you got to let it work for a little bit. See what happens. This RNG's got this high volume close setup it needs to get back through. So 39.50. If you own a PL already from like off of the 50 day, if you bought any of these days off of the 50, I mean, one, congratulations. I mean, I would let it trade today and see what it does. I feel like personally, so long as you're above this left side peak, which is 30.90, I think you're all right for now. And just let it trade. As it stays above 30.90 and above basically a new all-time high, I don't really see the big deal. Every time this thing gaps up on earnings, it tends to continue higher, gap up on earnings, and then really rip higher, and then gap up on earnings, and then rip higher, and gap up on earnings. How do we know this thing doesn't go to 45? Got to just sometimes let it work. Do I have strict rules to not trade? I do have strict rules to not trade, but we're not quite there yet. The problem is the market keeps kind of dangling enough carrots in front of our face, and it keeps giving us just enough merchandise that it makes it an interesting enough environment to buy, unfortunately. Yeah, 620 EMA on an intraday 5-minute, and then I'm using that with areas of confluence on the daily. All right, guys. Oh, could use an espresso this morning. All right, you guys trade them well. Much love. Have a super, super safe weekend. You guys are awesome, as always. Thank you for the question. Sorry if I come off as an asshole sometimes, but sometimes lack of sleep will do that to me. But you guys trade them well this week. Be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. Decompress. This market still sucks. If and when the market turns up, we'll have hopefully software acting a whole hell of a lot better. We'll have the mags acting a whole hell of a lot better. We'll have crypto acting better. We'll have, we'll have new setups appearing, right? New earnings gap ups. It might take a little while, but be patient. And then honestly, I'm hopeful. And if we all maybe say a small prayer this weekend for a real correction, and breed a little bit of a bear market, like a real bear market instead of a sideways market, it could reset the entire deck. The best names, like a SanDisk and a Micron and an LIT, maybe they go on to build a whole brand new base, a big base. And then, we've got something to cook with in another month or two from now, after a bigger correction. Let's just hope we get out of this nasty chop soon. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you on Monday. Any questions? You guys know how to reach me. You can just message me right on YouTube or on X anytime. We'll talk to you guys soon. Later.
bar coding. Yeah, ARTL had pushed up recently.
ARTL.
ARTL is back over to VWAP. This one could be interesting too.
ARTL.
Friday, will we see a good hot stock? Will it be a boom kind of a day or a bust kind of a day? With large caps, we know as the conflict continues to go on, the more we're going to see some stocks pull back. That's exactly what's happening. Small caps, we'll see if we get some attention here today. For those of you in the chat